Howdy, y'all. This is Proverbs 6 in the NIRV for October 6, 2023. My son, don't promise to pay for what your neighbor owes. Don't agree to pay a stranger's bill. Don't be trapped by what you have said. Don't be caught by the words of your mouth. Instead, my son, do something to free yourself. Don't fall into your neighbor's hands. Go until you can't go anymore. Don't let your neighbor rest. Don't let your eyes go to sleep. Don't let your eyelids close. As a deer frees itself from a hunter, free yourself. As a bird frees itself from a trapper, free yourself. You people who don't want to work, think about the ant. Consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, it has no leader or ruler, but it stores up its food in the summer. It gathers its food at harvest time. You lazy people, how long will you lie there? When will you get up from your sleep? You might sleep a little or take a little nap. You might even fold your hands and rest. Then you would be poor, as if someone had robbed you. You would have little, as if someone had stolen from you. An evil troublemaker goes around saying twisted things with his mouth. He winks with his eyes, he makes signals with his feet, he motions with his fingers. His plans are evil, and he has lies in his heart. He's always stirring up fights. Trouble will catch up with him in an instant. He will suddenly be destroyed, and nothing can save him. There are 6 things the Lord hates. In fact, he hates 7 things. The Lord hates proud eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that kill those who aren't guilty. He also hates hearts that make evil plans and feet that are quick to do evil. He hates any witness who pours out lies and anyone who stirs up conflict in the community. My son, keep your father's command. Don't turn away from your mother's teaching. Always tie them on your heart. Put them around your neck. When you walk, they will guide you, and when you sleep, they will watch over you. When you wake up, they will speak to you. Your father's command is like a lamp. Your mother's teaching is like a light. And whatever instructs and corrects you leads to life. It keeps you from your neighbor's wife. It keeps you from the smooth talk of a woman who commits adultery. Don't let hunger in your heart after her beauty. Don't hunger in your heart after her beauty. Don't let her eyes capture you. A prostitute can be bought for only a loaf of bread, but another man's wife hunts your very life. You can't shovel fire into your lap without burning your clothes. You can't walk on hot coals without burning your feet. It's the same for anyone who has sex with another man's wife. Anyone who touches her will be punished. People don't hate a thief who steals to fill his empty stomach, but when he is caught, he must pay 7 times as much as he stole. It may even cost him everything he has. A man who commits adultery has no sense. Anyone who does it destroys himself. He will be beaten up and dishonored. His shame will never be wiped away. Jealousy stirs up a husband's anger. He will show no mercy when he gets even. He won't accept any payment. He won't take any money, no matter how much is offered. Oh man, yikes. Stern warnings again, but an important topic. It was last episode, I believe, that I talked about the act in secret versus the act in public, or becoming public knowledge and being shamed. I just wanted to point out that may have been a custom at the time, and how can I put this? That may have been culturally acceptable then. It may have been even within the law as they interpreted it. But now, I think it's pretty safe to say that falls under the broad jurisdiction of sexual immorality, right? So, any of that engaging outside of a married relationship, you can't even say loving, committed anymore, because that's not equivalent. that falls under that, guys, and we should avoid it. Now, this passage does seem to be talking about degrees of this kind of sin, the ultimate being like you don't go in with another person who's made a covenant, versus like it's a sin if you're hiring that person, as worker, and it will bring consequences on you, but not the judgment promised here. Does that make sense? To be avoided regardless, I think. Everything that's permissible is not good. So if we start with what is good as the standard, it'll just kind of wipe away a lot of things, right? And make the options a little easier. So don't promise to pay for other people. I don't want to say don't vouch for other people, but that's essentially what it's doing. It's like, he's good for it, and if he's not, I've got him. Well, when they screw up, or they make off with the money, or they embezzle money, or they just make poor choices, or they spend it all, you're gonna have to settle the bill for yourself. When it comes to some of these deals, it's also, hey, you said one thing. Well, what did the other party say? Do we have it on contract? And if the verbal agreement was such and such, and you didn't hold up your end, the other party's released, right? Well, that's not fair. It wasn't fair that you didn't hold up your end. I'm sorry that your lack of fulfilling the contract led to you losing money. But I would say in one of the cases I was involved in, I'm not going to lose money. Again, for your poor decision making and your backing out of the agreement. Sorry. And if you can't negotiate that, if you can't come to this agreement, I don't know what to say, if seven wise people all say the same thing and you say differently without a good argument against it, except that's not fair, who's the fool? I digress. We always think about the ant, right? The prodigious self-led ant, which truly amazing. Read some works from E.O. Wilson on the study of ants. It's amazing. That many organisms can function as one big organism is truly impressive, especially with communication vastly different than we conceptualize of it, right? Regardless, we need to learn that internally we know what right and wrong looks like. It is a downright beautiful day, fall day here today. It's a Friday. I want to hang out with my kids and frolic in the park and do whatever, but I also have a responsibility. So as much as my wife would like me to be doing that, helping around the house, doing things today together there, I got to maximize the amount of money that I can make in most cases. But truth be told, I think I'm planning a little day trip for tomorrow for us, so probably take the day off. But tonight, I gotta make a pot of coffee. I gotta get going. So I'm about to have to report to a shift. Sitting in the parking lot, enjoying my time with everybody here. But you got to be like the ant, man. You got to get it when it's good. You got to store it when it's available. That way, anything could happen. Okay? I've had this car stolen from me mid-delivery. Not this car. I've had the car I was driving in stolen from me mid-delivery. I don't recall. I think it was like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. Around the same time, in a different car, I had somebody hit me because they made a poor decision in traffic and didn't want to be hit, so they accelerated into me and T-boned me. Which is why I've got all this back pain now. So at any point, I can be taken out the game, the car can be taken out the game, winter can just be too foul to be driving in. Although coming up on the holiday season, wish your boy luck that he makes some money. Not because, like, I got to get the money, y'all. I have a goal. It's a tool. I got to use my tool to free myself. I got a car payment. I got her student loan payment. Bless God that I was able to get out of school with no student loans. And then we got our house. And we have our kiddos. You know, we're just running the house. So I'm trying to free up all of our money because the borrower is the slave to the lender, right? I don't want to be a slave to the credit union no more. I don't want to be a slave to Sally Mae no more. I don't even want her in my house anymore, you know? So all I can do is that, and then work on saving money for us to the best of our ability. I'm taking encouragement from the aunt. If you notice, if you've been with me a long time, we're in our 10th month. 10th month. Is that wild? I just reorganized all the playlists and made them better and correct, you know. Not all of them, but the Growth Daily readings by month, I've got them organized. So I've just been trying to be industrious. Even when I'm sitting with the kiddos and I'm watching them play their new Ninja Turtle game and I got my arm around them, trying to do the things I need to do on here. I'm listening to a YouTube course that a friend gifted me access to. I'm listening to Jordan Peterson's book, which is lovely. I've got another book that I've started. And then I've got my daily devotionals and the dad books. And then I've got 3 or 4 recommendations from my buddy Mark. So we're going to be doing a book club. If anybody wants to do this with us, we're going to be reading just good books, not necessarily Christian books, but probably particular with a focus on or a tangent of or reflection of a dad, being a dude, being in Christ. It's all I got. As I've described to somebody else, I want to start a podcast, and it was like, what it's about? Who are you? What are you going to do? And it's like, I don't know. I like to talk, apparently. I got a larger than life personality, and I'm just a dude, now a dad in Christ. That's all I got to offer is that perspective. You want to see it? Like, share, and subscribe these videos. Help me out. And I'm not discouraged anymore. We've turned a corner. 10 months of wisdom, hitting myself over the head with wisdom. I'm not worried about folding my hands to rest and a little bit slow. I hit my snooze today a lot. I had like 2 alarms. But you know what? I got out. I got to the place just on time. And it was super early, and it's so hard, and it was such a large order. It was like $700 of breakfast, and to smell that and the coffee before you had no coffee, the driving's not the grinding, fam. It's getting out of bed and doing that. So, not worried about when I do fold my hands because I know it's well-earned and it's calculated, and I need rest. You need downtime. Just like your muscles flex and you need time to repair, you need sleep. And time for your neurons not to just repair, but to replay the day, make new connections, and get on a whole soapbox for that. Stay away from troublemakers. Stay away from them. Stay away from them. Is that hard? Also, I want to point out, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you will continue to consume your resources. And then what's going to happen? You're going to look around, and you're going to wonder, where's all my stuff? And I had to sell this, and I had to hawk that, and I had to pawn this and do that. No resources left, no stuff left. Now, what am I going to do? I need this stuff. I need food. So, I need to be getting at a healthy rate and a good perspective, healthy perspective. Troublemaker, what is he doing? Saying bad things, twisted things, winking, you know what I mean? Showing their emotions or behind somebody's, so they know, tell them yes, but we're not doing that deal. Same thing with the foot under the table, right? He makes signals with his feet. He'll play a little footsie. Yeah, dude, we can do that. It's only going to be this much, right? Right, homie? Oh, yeah, we'll get that done right away. Watch out for these people. Stay away from them. The Lord hates 7 things. Let's strive to not do those things. A lot of them are fairly easy. Proud eyes, difficult. lying tongue, hard. Hands that kill those who aren't guilty, unless you're one of the Clintons, man, it should be fairly easy for you. Hearts that make evil plans, and feet that are quick to do evil. When you're laying in bed at night, what are you thinking about? What are you planning? And people who stir up conflict in the community. We should be striving for togetherness, right? I'm going to run out of both footage and time. I'm going to try to not cut it off abruptly. But we should be listening to our father and mother and what they say. Why? Because it basically gives us stepping stones. It gives us stuff both to wear, to put on our heart, to think about, and to follow along the way. Those stones, right? And one of the big things that constantly hammering on, which Solomon had like what, hundreds of concubines, and I don't recall how many wives, but if any guy knows, you know what I mean, the trouble that can come from the ladies and the relationships that they are part of and in, both familial and otherwise, and you bring that into your lap, like it says, like scooping fire into your lap, you're going to go up in flames. You're going to burn your clothes. With that, go with God. And I feel like I should be doing little small things at night, because then I'll reflect on all this stuff later in the day. And it's the middle of the night, I'm like, I should have said that. I should have offered this. Maybe we'll start doing like further reflections or a postscript. I'd ask if you're into that, but I'm mostly talking to myself here, throwing spaghetti at the wall some days. Go with God. Be blessed. Pray for me.